A lot of really good work. We've got some guys that are still banged up a little bit, but they're out there doing what they could do. I think that's important. You know, we're almost halfway into the season, so we've gotten a lot of reps and a lot of contact, but we've got to make sure we're sharp mentally. I thought we were pretty sharp today for a Tuesday, and we'll do the rest of the install tomorrow. Questions?
When you pop on the tape on Michigan, can you tell just how talented they are, and if so, what pops out at you?
Immediately, yeah, immediately. Very, very physically impressive. You know, big, strong, good-looking bodies up front. You know, the wide receiver front just as talented a football player at that position as there is in the country. There's no doubt. Both quarterbacks can make plays. Both can make plays with their arm. I know people talk about Gardner's feet, but his completion percentage is pretty good. They've been very effective in the red zone. So when they get down there, they score touchdowns. I think they have 10 to 12 touchdowns in the red zone, which again is an impressive deal. And defensively, they run the ball very well. The middle linebacker, 47, is exactly what you would think of when people say Big Ten middle linebacker. It's what you would think of, and very productive guy in their defense. So yeah, I would agree with that.
Funchess specifically, Kyle. I mean, I think he's 6'4", 6'5". Obviously, you don't have a corner that size. How do you deal with that? And is too much made of size, or is that an issue for you guys?
No, I don't think so. I mean, we've had some guys here. You know, Kenny wasn't quite that tall, but he was a taller guy, and you know, guys like Marcus Colston, you know, a guy like Timmy Wright, a guy like Mark Harrison. You know, big receivers are tough to handle, and you're right. You know, we don't have a 6'4" corner. I don't know that anybody has one. There's not a lot of 6'2" corners, you know, out there. That's a little bit like finding the Holy Grail, but it does present challenges, and if you give them too many one-on-ones, it's going to be hard to keep them from being productive.
Michigan's going through like an interesting time right now for them. You always talk about minimizing distractions. Do you talk about to your kids? I'm sure read some of the stuff going on there just about this day. You know, they may come in kind of the wounded animal type deal, stuff like that.
I don't know that that's the case, and I think, you know, football teams in general are pretty resilient, and inside a locker room, it's a place where you can block a lot of things out. So I don't reference it. You know, whatever is going on in Ann Arbor, we don't have any control over that. You know, that is not our situation. We have to control what we control, which is our preparation. If we control our preparation, then we'll come out Saturday night and we'll play well, and that's really what we need to be focused on.
I know he was a walk-on, but do you remember anything about Andre Hunt's recruitment? I know you said he kind of got a late call of being a running back. Do you just remember anything about that?
I remember we had the availability in the 105 in training camp, and the name came up, and we didn't know a lot about him. And it wasn't one of those situations, but we felt like he was a guy who had been productive in his career and had some injury issues, and was willing to do it. You know, it's not finding those guys is not easy. You know, we make a big deal out of some of them because, you know, guys like Sean O'Hara, Gary Brackett, Michael Burton, Howard Barbieri, you know, those guys were all really productive. Paul James, walk-ons who came to our program were really productive. But in terms of numbers, because of the expense of going to college, because 1AA teams have 63 scholarships, it's not easy to find those guys. A lot of times they're unique situations, and when he was willing to do it, we were excited about him as a player and felt like he was somebody who could develop in our program. And I think he's probably exceeded our expectations to this point.
At quarterback, is there still a chance Cam Lott could see some action?
There is. Yeah, there is. I think right now, I don't think we can rule anything out at that position right now, just because from a health standpoint, we don't have very many at that position that are 100% healthy.
What about T.J. Taylor adding depth at the linebacker position?
Sure. Yeah, he took a lot of reps today. Yeah, T.J. took a lot of reps today. Similar situation. You know, although guys are practicing, you know, when you have guys that aren't 100%, those backups can become starters in a hurry.
Have you seen much from TJ? I mean, he's playing behind Longo, who hardly ever leaves the field when he's healthy. I mean, have you seen much from TJ in game action, or?
Well, we see more. We see more of him in practice. We see more of him than you guys do because he hasn't gotten a lot of reps in game action. I'm pleased with the way he's working, and given the opportunity, I have confidence that he'll be productive for us. And that's one of the challenges of a football season for guys that are in a position like that, where even though they're playing on special teams, they're not really getting reps in the game. They're taking a lot of reps in practice. You have to have a great attitude of getting better, because practice is your opportunity to get better, and you don't know when your opportunity is going to come in a game. It could be the second play Saturday night.
I think we've talked about kick returns quite a bit, but punt returns, there's been a lot of fair catches. Is that just the way the punts are going, or do you need to block better on the gunner? I mean, what's going on with those?
I think it's just the way it's been going. I don't, I don't think Janarian's a guy who wants to fair catch it. You know, so if the guy gets one off and it's pretty good hang time, it's it's generally, it's gonna be a fair catch, more often than not to secure the ball. Securing the ball is the most important thing. The return is secondary. We attempt a lot of blocks, which I think slows down the coverage. Some people say you don't get better returns when you're a block team. I don't know if I agree with that. I think the teams we play are so protection conscious, I think it slows down their coverage.
Got time for two more. How's Robert Martin coming along? It seems like he's getting more responsibility.
It's hard for me to talk about Robert without talking about Josh and vice versa. I'm just really pleased with the way those guys are going about their business. I think they're both talented players who are going to have really big roles in this program at some point. And that point could be this Saturday, for all we know. But I have no doubt in my mind that at some point, sooner than later, both of those guys are going to have a big role.
Kyle, through the first couple practices, how's Tyler Croft looking since you limited him against Tulane?
Good. He looks healthier. He looks better. He looks like he's running better. I think it was having a week like he had last week was good. I think it gave him. We were fortunate to be 1-0 without having to play him a lot, and I think that'll help us this week.
Thanks, Kyle.
Thanks.